Hi, this is Ghost and welcome back. Today I've got you some defense on operations on Amiens, and I'm predominantly using the M10A Hunter shotgun, which is still a really strong weapon. I don't quite know what the nerf was to it, but it doesn't seem to have affected its long range ability. It still gets some insane long range shots, which I sort of sit there and go, hang about, I'm using a shotgun. How on earth was that a one-hit kill? I did do 100 damage to him. You have to look at the numbers, like, I actually did do 100 damage to him. How is that correct? I mean, there I did take 3 shots, but I mean, post-patch that would have probably been a one-hit kill. So it did nerf it a little bit, but not really enough to sort of overly notice it. Have to say, great tip for if you're defending here, sticking those anti-tank mines there. The amount of kills I get from people just driving straight over that area without sort of thinking about it, because they're just rushing straight for the flag, is a great spot. And that's kind of the negative of using those anti-tank grenades. You've got to kind of predict where people are going to be. Although you can get that sneaky sort of sneak up behind them and get that one hit on them, which is always quite amusing. And the best bit about that is sticking them all underneath and then pulling out something like a Calibri and shooting them anti-tank mines and killing a tank with a Calibri, and they're sitting there going, wait, what? How did I just die to a Calibri from a what? I'm in a tank. That can't make any sense. So, for that reason, that's probably one of the only reasons I'd ever recommend using the Calibri. But yeah, moving back to, the Model 10A Hunter. It did get a bit of a nerf, but you still get some really long-range shots out of it. The only thing I can really see that it massively got was an inconsistency to it. So sometimes you'll sort of go around a corner, you'll get a massive long-range shot, and then you'll come up against someone who's about a foot away from you, and it'll take you 3 or 4 shots to get them. You're like, what? Where's the consistency gone? How has this weapon gone from that monstrous one-hit range, and then suddenly at close range, where my shot should be surely more effective, it's now less effective? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It's bizarre, and for that reason, I've tend to actually move away from it now. I moved slowly towards the M97, either the sweeper or the hunter variant. Partly for the fact you can fire faster, so if you do get that sort of random hit marker at close range, you can pump in another round much faster than you can with the Model 10. That is its main weakness, is it's got quite a slow rate of fire. I suppose that was its one balancing factor that didn't make it way too strong. And because of the strength of these weapons, it's left me in rather a sort of difficult situation. For those of you who don't know, I've recently bought myself a PlayStation 4. I did this because I wanted to play with some guys online that I used to play with all the time. Now, initially when I bought my console, I just bought the Xbox because I assumed everyone was still on the Xbox and that was where everyone played. Obviously, I was wrong, and everyone had moved over to PlayStation 4, which I quickly worked out when I jumped on the Xbox and realised my whole friends list was offline. Quickly have to point out, don't do this. This support player comes to stick a limpet charge on me. On offense, your tickets are quite precious because you obviously have a limited number. Running around a corner into 6 people and running down the barrel of a tank was not the best choice. You have to try and be you have to think about it. Don't do things like that. But yeah, so I bought myself a PlayStation so I could play with my friends. But because of that, I'm obviously a lot lower rank. On this one, on the Xbox, I'm a rank 95 or 96. So and I've got class 10 on everything. So I've got everything in the game unlocked, which is a little bit of a shame because it kind of doesn't make me want to sort of grind out those last couple of levels. And the rank up times are getting long. They are some seriously long rank up times, and I do enjoy it. I mean, there's one thing that I've always loved about games is ranking up, unlocking things, progressing forward, and Battlefield's progression system is, well, it's pitiful, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, back on the PlayStation, I'm only ranked about 10, so I haven't really got anything unlocked. Now, this obviously shouldn't really be a massive issue, but the weapons you have access to at level 1, especially on the assault class, you have the MP18 trench version, and you have the shotgun is the M97 black bore edition, which has literally no range. It's not sort of, I wouldn't recommend ever using it. You can get kills with it, and the same with every weapon in the game, you can get kills with it, but it's not good. In comparison to a weapon like this, or the sweeper, or the hunter version of the 97, they're just not, it's not competitive at all. You can't competitively win gunfights all the time. And because of this, I'll sort of go into a gunfight with the MP18 and I can get first shot on someone, but half the time I'll lose because they're using a shotgun that I don't have access to, or the verging on completely brokenly overpowered Automatico, or any of its variants. The only one I don't really like is the factory edition. I'd like the Storm version, is my personal favourite, though I know the Trench version is very strong as well, which I have now unlocked. I have finally got the class to rank 1, so I have got that unlocked. It just makes it very difficult to to come into as a new player and try and play against people who've got these weapons that they've got a lot of time with, and they're really a lot stronger than the base weapons, and it's quite difficult, and it's put me in a very difficult situation. And almost sort of half the time I'm sort of sitting there going, why am I grinding out playing on the PlayStation again? I should just go back to the Xbox. Screw it, I'll just play solo. But no, I am going to get myself up to a decent level. That said, if you do want to play with me, guys, and you have either of these consoles, do send me a message or tweet at me, and I'll send you over my gamer tag, and you can add me, and we will have some games together if you'd enjoy that. However, there's no however. The next thing I was going to say is the PlayStation. Now, I was really apprehensive about getting a PlayStation, primarily for the fact that the controller really doesn't fit me. Like, it's a lot smaller than the Xbox controller. I'm quite a large gentleman, and I've got quite large hands. And the Xbox controller fits nicely in it. The PlayStation controller, obviously being a lot smaller, it's sort of, I feel it doesn't quite fit. On top of that, the D-pad's in the wrong place, and it's a bit more challenging to clip. Like, I like to, on the Xbox, I have it so I roll the sort of bottom half of my thumb onto the D-pad, so I select my gadgets quite quickly via that way. And I can't do that on the PlayStation because it's in a different place. But I think I might have figured out a way of doing it. I sort of bring my index finger over the top and use it that way. But it's just a different way, and it's sort of something else I've got to think about. However, although it's a little bit smaller and it's not sort of my ideal, I do still prefer the Xbox controller, especially because I've got an Xbox One controller, an Xbox Elite controller, not an Xbox One controller. Everyone has an Xbox One controller who plays on the Xbox. I've got an Xbox Elite controller, so I have the two paddles on the bottom, which I have knife and jump, because I standardly I have alternate buttons set up, so my right thumbstick, when I click it, crouches and lays me down, which I think allows me to survive a lot more than being able to knife someone at closer ranges. So because I have that, I've obviously get used to not having those buttons underneath it. I've been looking at maybe thinking about getting, that's definitely English. I've been looking at maybe getting something like the Razer Raiju controller, which is a little bit larger. It's sort of similar size to the Xbox, and it has the paddles on the bottom. I don't know if any of you guys have a scarf or anything else. Would you recommend getting one of these, or would you just stick with the standard one and just get used to it? Maybe try and work out how to play claw like some better players than me do. But the massive positive from the PlayStation controller for me was the thumbsticks. Now, the thumbsticks on the Xbox controller, they're a little bit they're very fluid. They move quite easily, which means I have to personally, I have it on a slightly lower sensitivity because you've got quite a lot of twitch movement in it. On the PlayStation, however, I can put the sensitivities. My sensitivity is about double what it is on the Xbox, because the thumbsticks feel so much more precise. And I'm really enjoying that. I've still got to get used to the controls very much so anyway, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment. But anyway, guys, it's coming towards the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this little gameplay. I think I found I'll end up with like 88 kills it was, and we made it very difficult for ourselves. At one point, I think we were down to just one flag. Like right at the end, we were down to one flag, and they had a couple tickets left. They were pushing forward. It was really close, which was kind of surprising considering the previous map. They just walked us on St. Quentin Scar. They went through every single flag and didn't lose a thing, and then it took them 3 attacks to get through on this one. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this little gameplay, and I hope you enjoyed this commentary, and I shall see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now. Bye.